welcome to Pickleball and Beyond. My name is Vino.
My name's Ryan.
And today we have the privilege of demoing and trying a pickleball brand called Bread and Butter.
Yes.
Literally called Bread and Butter. So, Bread and Butter Pickleball. Let's start off with saying how the boxing was.
Yes.
It came on this phenomenal boxing. We'll do a link to like a reel that we did. Excellent branding.
Yes.
I think we haven't seen any branding like that. The packaging was really great. And even just looking at the paddles, like, I mean, the colors and it just feels really nice.
Yes.
Awesome. I've not seen a paddle like this.
Yes.
So let's go straight into just picking up the paddles. There are two different types of paddles, correct?
Yep.
One is the drip, the longer one.
Yep.
And one is the spear, which is the shorter one.
Yep.
So, thoughts and feels just looking at this.
Yeah, so like you touched on, aesthetically, awesome looking paddles, and the packaging was great. I know we're both in agreement. The handles that these come with are, out of this world. Like,
yeah,
top notch.
Grip is like,
this grip is amazing. I mean, it's better than the grip on paddles at like the $200 price point. Like, we love this grip.
I would love this to see this grip in one of the higher end paddles because just off like the wrapping, the grip is awesome. It feels nice. It feels very high end, and it really gives this a really good plush feel when you're holding onto it. So let's go immediately on how you felt the control of this paddle was.
Yeah, so for the price point on these paddles, I was surprised at how good the control was. Both of these were, outstanding, I thought, from a dinking perspective. There are some paddles that have a little more control, but like I said, for that price point, I thought it was pretty nice in the dinking category. As far as resets, it lacked just a little, but it was still pretty solid. Coming in at 16 millimeter and 13 millimeter paddles, they're definitely still plenty thick. So the resets were pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm curious what some of your thoughts were.
Yeah. So this is a 16 millimeter paddle, and like I was talking to Ryan while playing, it almost felt like a 14 millimeter paddle. It had a little bit more pop, and hence like even the resets, like you had to hold back a little bit more, and it felt like the ball did not dwell a lot like it would usually do in a 16 millimeter paddle. It felt a little bit more like a 14 millimeter paddle. But control wise, I was extremely surprised with the cheaper 13 millimeter paddle. You know what I mean? The spear was really nice, and like, I mean, yes, it had a little bit less than, but for what you were getting with the 13 millimeter $80 paddle, I was extremely impressed with like being able to control your dinks. And even the resets, you really, like, you had the power because it was 13 millimeter paddle, it was pushing, but you also felt like, hey, you had that same amount of reset that you almost got from here.
Yeah, and actually, now that you mention it, they both did feel like a pretty similar thickness. It's hard to even notice the 16 versus 13 while you were out there.
Yes. Power-wise?
Power, I'd say they were both good.
Yes.
Not out of this world, but they were both good.
They were really good.
Pretty good.
Yes, because this is a little bit more elongated. You have that hammer effect to it, so you could generate a little bit more power than this, but this was not far behind. Again, I have to say, like, a little bit better, but this was not far behind as far as power went. Like, the speed ups one, this I really enjoyed, right? It felt lighter, it felt shorter. The sweet spot was really nice there. You really
with the shorter handle, you could really work your hands a little faster.
You really could. So yeah, on the powering side. Spin wise.
Yeah, so spin, I think for both of us, that's probably the lowest point for this paddle. I mean, I've seen plenty of paddles that have even less spin, but I'd say that's the low light for this paddle. It generates some, but not a whole.
It's supposed to be a T700, but if you look at it, it's a T700 with like the paint on top of it and like lovely graphics and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's one that contributes to it. I don't know the science behind it, but it felt like it lacked a little bit on the spin. I think there were two things that I felt like it didn't have that amount of hold and grip, and it didn't dwell on that paddle that much. It didn't have that, it's holding on to your ball so that it will like generate a little bit more spin. So I think that was definitely something. Adaptability.
I felt very comfortable with this paddle right away. We both prefer having a lot of control with our paddles. And these, I think that's what stood out to me with these paddles was they offer quite a bit of control.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think the adaptability was very easy. Like from shot number one, it felt like, hey, you're playing with a paddle that you've been playing for some time. It didn't take a lot of getting used to.
Do you think they're well balanced paddles? Would you
I would
think
say
they're pretty
I
well
was
balanced.
actually impressed with even the balance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There are lots of other paddles that you'll find, and I'll be like, hey, I want to change the weight a little bit to balance. But overall, I actually felt all the paddles were really well balanced, and I keep going back to this one because
Yeah.
it's cheaper. Um, but it just performed really well. Like everything you tried, it just yes, it's a 13 millimeter paddle, so you have to play it as a 13 millimeter paddle, but it kept on surprising me over and over again.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good segue to value proposition.
Yeah.
MSRP 80s, 90s.
Yeah, I mean both. I mean that's very impressive with the packaging
Yes.
and the grip. Really good control, pretty good power. So I would say it's a great option for everyone, unless you love spin.
Yes.
If you are playing pickleball to just spin the heck
Yes,
out of the
yes.
ball, I would then maybe
think
it's
that's
not
where
for
it
you.
falls.
Other than that, it could be a really good for that price point. Wow.
Yeah,
It's a
and
really good
I
option.
believe they are coming with next step of this. So I'll be very impressed to see how that works out. But I've been excited to
Yes.
try this and definitely impressed with it. Anyone wanting to review these paddles or demo these paddles, feel free to reach out to us if you're in Minnesota area. Again, a quick thanks to Chip Shots for letting us use their facility to help record. A shout out to them. And any comments, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you and hope to see you in another video.